Hey poker people, my name is Sky and welcome to the 5th video in the 5-minute poker coaching series. In today's video, I help Mouse85 plug the leak of tiny turn bet sizing. Let's roll. Alrighty, so we have Mouse85's database of 99,300 hands right here. With the negative win rate, we can see that he's not a winner in the tournaments that he's playing. Not yet, at least. Let's see if we can't help him out. So, let me whip out my handy-dandy Word document. Here is Mouse's leak that I discovered. I lose money when I fail to double barrel large enough. Now, I discovered this leak because I noticed a few things. A high double barrel cbet, and I wondered why. If we just scroll on over here, cbet on the flop, 61. cbet on the turn, 67. On the river goes down a little bit, but it's still higher than the flop. Most of the time, people have c-betting rates, flop, turn, and then a little bit less on the river. Most of the time. That doesn't mean he has to have that to be profitable, but this is just an indication that c-betting might be one of his issues here. So what I decided to do was I took a look at the turn c-bet win rate as well as the flop and the river. Let me show you how to do that. I'll show you the flop one. Flop bet, continuation bet type, and then bam, just hit save and apply. Now it's going to show us all the hands where he c-bet on the flop. His win rate is 177. You can see that number right down here. On the turn now, because I save these as quick filters to make things quick and easy, it drops to 135, the win rate does. And on the river, well, it jumps up to 245 here. So normally, your win rates should go up as the streets get later because those are bigger pots. You're making good bluffs, good value bets. You should be earning more money with your turn c-bets and even more with your river c-bets. But as you can see, there's a little bit of drop here on the turn. So now one thing that I realize is that I have a lot of students with the leak of betting just too small on the turn. Too small with their value bet, so they're missing out on potential value, and too small with their bluffs, so they're not getting opponents to fold. And I've noticed a lot of opponents, or a lot of players, bet between 1 and 4 big blinds, which really just is not enough to either achieve your bluffs or to achieve extra value. So let's take a look here. Let's sort this, not sort this, I'm sorry, add a filter for that 1 to 4 big blind bet sizing. You're going to select big blinds in between 1 and 4. Add that to filter. Turn c-bet between 1 and 4. Now, with the smaller sizing, look what happens to his win rate. It drops from 135, I think it was, down to 24. It's just a terrible, or it's an indication that he's making a lot of terrible bets between 1 and 4 big blinds, missing out a lot of value, or possibly not getting the folds that he wants, right? So I went through and I found 4 hands, actually, where that kind of illustrate this issue here. Pair of 8s, ISO raise, I love it, I love it. Flop in that set, things are good. Small bet on the flop. I mean, I get it. You don't want them to fold, but bet a little bit bigger to go for some value, right? And then a call. Good. So one player called. He shows a little bit of interest, and he's loose passive at a 32.9. 676 in the pot, 169. That's just too small going for value. You know, he ended up folding, but I really think it's instances like this where you're just missing out on value. If he has a jack, this loose passive player is easily calling 300 or 400 chips right here. The ace 10, after you put your antes in, you come in for the raise. Great. Backdoor flush, backdoor straight draw. Smallish bluff right now. I would like to see this bigger to get him to fold more likely. But you hit a great hand. You could pick up some showdown equity as well as a flush draw, right? I figured you'd bet bigger here. But no, kind of on the smaller side, only 4 big blinds. That's not going to get anybody to fold. You don't have necessarily a value hand right now. If you want them to be folding some of their hands with potential draws like queen jack, open enders and kind of stuff like that, you're going to have to bet bigger here. And then the 10 hits, great, you hit your flush, right? And then look what happens. You bet big now. Now when you have the absolute nuts, you're betting big. When you have these bet discrepancies like this, opponents are going to notice, and they're going to fold to your bigger bets and easily call your smaller bets. So just beware of that. Let's go through one last hand here with the king 9 suited. Coming for the min open, not bad. So queen 8-6, half pot bluff. Okay, that's fine. You don't have much of a hand at all. On the 5, you pick up a tiny bit of equity with the gut shot. And then what happens? The min bet. Nobody folds to the min bet, right? Ultimately, you want him to fold right here. It's not like you're building the pot. You don't have a set of eights again like that prior hand. No, you only have a gut shot. You want him to fold. You've got to make this 90 or 100 or 120 big blinds to get that fold. And then he raises you right there. And then what do? Oh, you call with just a gut shot. I'm not a big fan of it at all. The ace comes, and then you fold on that river. We're never going to know what he had right there. So as you can see, those small bets really just do not accomplish what you want them to accomplish, either value or bluff. So here's the sticky note I want you to use, Mouse. I need to c-bet larger on the turn for value and with my bluffs. Now, when it comes to purposeful play, this is what I want you to do. Over your next 25 MTTs or sit-and-goes, use a tick sheet to record your turn bet sizing. Your goal is to have less than 10% of your turn c-bets be between 1 and 4 big blinds. Utilize a tick sheet with one column saying 1 to 4 and the other one saying 4 plus. Just make ticks on it, and at the end, count up, and hopefully you have less than 10% being 1 to 4 big blinds right here. And of course, tag hands for later review. And your purposeful study. For each study session after a play session, make sure you filter for turn c-bets just like I showed you between 1 and 4 big blinds. And then review all of those hands, and as well, review all of those tagged hands that you have. Record your mistakes and work to not repeat them in your next play session. And then ultimately, take a look at your c-bet win rates before playing these 25 games with this turn c-betting focus. Take a look at your win rates before and after. Hopefully afterwards, they're going to be higher than all 3 of these. Well, thank you so much for watching, and a big thanks to Mouse85 for opening up their database to us. I hope you put to use what I showed you today so you can improve your game with your very next session. Click either one of these videos to watch more in the series. And if you want me to be your coach, visit smartpokerstudy.com/coaching.